from Jason Bourne to Red Sparrow, Treadstone to MKUltra. Hollywood and world-renowned writers have delved into the black art of mind control and the use of performance-enhancing drugs by the military. Could these wild ideas be based around a murkier truth? Here, in the Dark Lounge, we discuss what might have happened. The Nazis committed many atrocities, including human experimentation, and now many of these scientists were on trial. Their experiments, using humans as guinea pigs, sickened the public. But they also highlighted advancements that would change the world. Our episode, Did the USA Win the Space Race?, discussed how Nazi advancements in technological developments influenced the space race. Reports have shown that Nazi scientists, such as Kurt Blumer, had studied the effects of torture and toxins on the human mind. They had experimented with airborne infections, weaponized aerosols, and truth serums. Could their human experiments and notes have been used to influence another program, a darker one, that was not to be headline news? Frank Olsen's mind had been playing tricks on him. He couldn't concentrate, couldn't focus. He sat on the edge of his bed and didn't recognise the room he was in. Everything seemed strange and wrong. He needed air. The darkness enveloped him, clawed at him. He needed to get out of this strange room. But who was in the hallway? Why was his hand trembling? He really needed some air. Seconds later, the screams rang out from the Hotel Statler on 7th Avenue, New York City. Olsen had fallen 10 stories to his death. After the war, the Joint Intelligence Objectives Agency had been renamed in the USA as the Central Intelligence Agency. The CIA would investigate heavily in the latest techniques to be ahead of the enemy. They would use all tools at their disposal. Olsen had joined the US bioweapons program towards the end of the Second World War in 1944. He was an accomplished bacteriologist, and his work with the US Army had made him a target for the CIA. Olsen was welcomed by Sidney Gottlieb and his team at the CIA's technical services. Gottlieb was a charismatic character whose club foot would add to his mysterious nature. As he settled into his new role and worked alongside his colleagues, Olsen would overhear the nicknames given to his new boss: the Black Sorcerer, or more worryingly, the Dirty Trickster. Previously known as Operation Artichoke, Gottlieb and his team would develop techniques combined with the use of hallucinogenic drugs to control and crush the human psyche. The aim of Project MKUltra was to develop interrogation techniques and personality control. The combination of hypnosis, hallucinogenic drugs, and the iron will of the interrogators was formidable. Project Artichoke had focused on hypnosis alone, but with the introduction of LSD, the project had taken a darker turn. The CIA experimentation started as it meant to go on. The CIA authorised Gottlieb and his team to go rogue, and their experiments were a law unto themselves. One of the most outlandish tests was Operation Midnight Climax. This involved CIA-run brothels in which clients were given LSD without their knowledge and monitored to see the results. It is believed they were induced with voices to commit crimes or to behave out of character. The goal was to see if, through the use of LSD and suggestion, it would be possible to make a spy defect against their will. The experiments would range from unsuspecting homeless people to military staff who may be suspected of working for the Russian state. LSD was slipped into their drinks without warning. In 1957, US Marshal Wayne Ritchie was a victim of the program. After drinking his usual bourbon and soda, the room started to spin. Colours popped in front of his eyes, and he felt like everyone was staring into his soul. He had to escape. Later that day, Ritchie went into a local bar and took out both his service revolvers. He threatened the staff and robbed the bar of its night takings. Luckily, no one was hurt, but he was soon caught and forced to resign. The experiments would not be just completed in the United States. One of the core objectives of the MKUltra project was the ability to break and control foreign assets for the use of the military. Olsen would enjoy the flights to Europe more than the flights home. The return journey would be overshadowed by the memory of the events he had to witness. The CIA had safe houses around the globe, and Olsen would be taken with the rest of the team to implement their methods of interrogation. In a German safe house, Olsen would witness prisoners deemed expendable suffer horrific, brutal interrogations on a regular basis. In an attempt to brainwash or erase memories, these suspected spies or moles were interrogated to death using experimental methods combining drugs, hypnosis and torture devised by the CIA team. Further refinement of the drugs to increase the effects, combined with the harsher testing on unwitting subjects, tore at Olsen's conscience. After one such case, he told his wife he had to quit. Olsen was a witness and had evidence of the unlicensed and unethical testing on numerous subjects. Could he really be trusted to walk away from the project? Or was Olsen perceived as a threat to the program? 9 days before his death, Olsen discussed his concerns with the management and advised he wanted to leave. However, the team persuaded him to attend a retreat at Deep Creek Lake, where, after dinner, it is alleged that Gottlieb spiked a bottle of Cointreau with a strong dose of LSD. The drug soon took effect and enhanced Olsen's feelings of self-doubt. As the drug coursed through his neural cortex, his mind felt like it was on fire. His thoughts and emotions overwhelmed. His brain induced an altered state of consciousness. Did Olsen's sense of self disintegrate? On the orders of Gottlieb, Olsen was sent to New York and was recommended to be placed in a mental institution for recovery. On his last night in the city, alone in his hotel room, he threw himself out of the hotel window to his death. The mind control experiments during the years after the Second World War were clearly illegal and unethical. Project MKUltra was part of 150 experiments that ranged from mind control to performance enhancement and biological warfare. Could the combination of hypnosis, hallucinogenic drugs and torture bend a person's character and psyche? Could this method be used to increase the performance of a willing soldier? Could a person be involuntarily made to perform an assassination? Perhaps even the murder of a prominent official or a president. Is the truth scarier than fiction?